first of all, can I just say you've got great attention to detail because you corrected one of my colleagues' collar earlier, so that was fantastic. That's obviously a good sign. So tell me, how does a company grow 10 years from being that support service, just working within an organisation and actually becoming what you've become now?
So really to give a broader background to where we've come from. So Gulftain is our parent company. Momentum Logistics was formed back in 1998. Gulftain had two different trucking companies, Trucktainer and Speed Trucks. We also had a number of other value-added services to the port operating business. So it was decided back then that we'd rebrand all the value-added services under Momentum Logistics. So we bought the two transport companies in-house. Some container repair, leasing, conversions, freight forwarding, and some warehousing. Developed some off-dock storage solutions, inland container depots, logistics cities, and really that's where it's grown from.
Yeah.
So from being a transporter that basically supported Gulftainer's operations of moving containers by road from Corfu across to the west coast into Sharjah, we then gone on to be a retail 3PL logistics provider.
Yeah. And is there sort of, when you look back, was there a turning point for the company in terms of where that gearing up happened, like where the switch happened?
I think it was always the plan that there would be some growth. I think as many people operate in the UAE would see, it's not the easiest market to progress and make them changes.
It's quite competitive, isn't it, as a marketplace?
I think it's very, and there's a number of different conversations going on today that I'm sure will carry on further than today and later on. But, you know, we really, 2015, we kind of started making a lot more progress and changing things, and we found ourselves getting into the petrochemicals market and more of a niche there. Brought on board one of our biggest customer at the time then. Since then we've brought on a couple of other major clients through the petrochem industry.
How easy is it to get into that industry?
There's a question.
Sorry, but the lines are, obviously a lot of it's very established. Like the actual company, the petrochemical companies are very well established, and obviously a lot of their guys that they've been using for sometimes decades. So that's quite a challenge.
You know, I think the opportunity is always there for people that want to operate in the right manner, that value safety. You know, it's been a big topic today, safety. Taking the customer's feedback, doing what the customer want, looking to work with customers as well. You know, it's a challenging market. We generally find that customers in the petrochemicals industry take the safety a little bit more serious and are willing to pay that little bit extra for the peace of mind that people are doing the right thing in the right way.
So how do you ensure that high level of safety? What processes have you got in place?
So the Gulf Petrochemical Association have got the Gulf SQAS assessment in place here. It's done across Europe and other places worldwide. There's a number of transport companies in the UAE that have signed up to it. We done our original SQAS assessment back in January 2017. So we're doing our reassessment in January.
Was that a nervous time? Were you never too sure, are you?
Exactly. It's a challenge. You know, you kind of got your what you believe to be best practice there, but it's just giving the evidence to the assessors. So you know, we've got the reassessment coming up in January. We're very comfortable with how we're doing things, what we're doing, why we do things, and have got the relevant evidence. You know, sometimes these things can be a lot of lip service. People say the right thing, but then don't see it through and don't follow through with that. So, we're very conscientious that we want to follow through on what we're promising.
Yeah, good. And also, we should also thank Martin, because you've actually brought one of your trucks.
We have.
Here today. It's downstairs. It's the Scania new truck generation.
Yeah.
Truck that's outside, so please go and have a look at it. And obviously, buying new trucks is a sign that you must be doing something right, I assume.
Is it a sign we were doing something right, or we were doing something wrong?
Yeah, that's interesting.
I joined Momentum back in 2014.
Yeah.
And as I joined, we were just taking delivery of, I think we had 30 used Scanias from the European markets. They were already 6 years old at that point.
Yeah.
Most of them had 800,000 kilometres plus on them. And hence I was a little bit wary of what we were getting ourselves into. But having just joined, it's very difficult then to say, well, we've made a mistake here, we shouldn't have done this. We took a look, we saw what we were doing, what the maintenance costs were coming in at, and before long, as suspected, the maintenance costs started spiralling a bit. So I went to the directors and put to them that, the way we were buying trucks and the way we were operating our fleet was wrong. We need to change it.
Quite a brave thing to do, stick your head above the parapet.
In a way, yes, but there's not a real cost to it.
Yeah.
When you put it down in a business case and you go to the directors and you say, okay, this is what we're paying now.
Yeah.
This is the maintenance cost. This is the cost per kilometre. And then we say, right, we can buy a brand new truck.
Yeah.
We can have a guaranteed buyback. We can have it fully maintained by the manufacturer or by the dealer. This is what it's going to cost us per kilometre, and it's actually cheaper.
Yeah.
It's the way to go. And our fleet rejuvenation plan that we've brought in, we've now taken 76 brand new Scanias in the past 2 years. We've got another 40 to change from the older fleet that we had.
Yeah.
But it's the right thing.
Yeah.
And the plan there is that 5 years will be the changeover point where we chop the old trucks back in.
Yeah.
And as I say, we've got a guaranteed buyback from the dealer. It doesn't mean we've got to sell back to the dealer, but we know that we've got a figure there to work on for our calculations. Now, depending on what happens with enforcement of legislation and how things change now, could mean that it's going to actually drive a demand in the second-hand truck market within the UAE, which means we could actually realise better value from them used trucks after 5 years.
Yeah.
They're going to be relatively low mileage vehicles that have been fully maintained by the dealer for their lifetime. So there should be a good buy for people looking for the second-hand market.
So it brings sense, because obviously there's a classic question, isn't it? Do you do that in-house at your own workshop, or do you do effectively pay or buy into the program, the service maintenance program?
Yeah,
you're an advocate for it, clearly.
Clearly, our existing fleet are maintained by our in-house engineering team. Our trailer fleet's maintained by in-house engineering team.
Right.
But the new Scanias, we don't even need to take them to the dealer. They have the service van that comes out to us.
Right.
Comes out on a Friday when the vehicles are not working anyway, so we lose no downtime for the service and the maintenance. Any bigger jobs, which we've had none, to be frank, they're new trucks, then we would take them to the dealer. But it works very well. And again, earlier on we mentioned about driver training and things like this. We've trained all of our drivers with the Scania driver trainer. He's come and spent time taking all of them drivers out, telling them how to get the best out of the truck, giving us feedback on what the drivers are doing. So again, it's an added value of buying these new vehicles.
How do you keep track of what happens? We spoke about this earlier, but how do you keep track of, once you've done that driving training, and then making sure that they don't drop off after they've had that initial bounce of that refresh of being able to drive properly.
We've got all of the vehicles are fully equipped with telematics with our partner, and we monitor driver behaviour. So we'll look at harsh braking, harsh acceleration, cornering speeds, and we basically score all the drivers, and then weight it against how many kilometres they've done, and then it will give us an idea of where the drivers lie in the league table, and then communicate that back to the drivers. So we'll reward the top drivers, and then use it as a vehicle to bring the training on board for the ones that need help, or if we need to take it further.
And actually proves to them that actually being a better driver actually can make a difference. I don't know how you do it, whether or not it's in their back pocket or whatever.
This region, I think the guys were put on the spot earlier when they were asked about the driver training and how they found the drivers in this region. Being perfectly honest, the drivers in this region are poor. But we don't help ourselves with that. We want to pay the lowest rates possible to employ these guys. There's no real incentive to bring skilled drivers into the industry here. There's an awful lot of things that we know where there's lots of scope to make improvements, but who's going to pay for these improvements? And then it all comes back full circle to the owner-driver market in the UAE, GCC. People are living in a truck, they've got no overheads, they're not maintaining it correctly, they're buying stolen fuel. Their costs are very, very low, they're passing this on to the customer. The customer doesn't care, he wants a cheap rate. We can't compete with that.
That's very difficult.
And hence why some of our is to try and change the customers that we take on so they do care about that. But it's, there's a limited number.
I'm sure. And so if I remember correctly, you're saying you're going to try and double the size of the company in 5 years, 10 years?
So the 5-year plan is that we're looking to at least double the turnover. We're looking to expand outside of the UAE now. We've already got some operations going on in Iraq, in Lebanon. We're actually be starting a transport operation in the United States in Q1 of next year. Well, in fact, January of next year. So we've just onboarded the guy for that. We're actually going to be going into Saudi in January. We have a few meetings planned there, but I should imagine we'll be operating in Saudi within Q1 as well. So,
are you going to get to go to any of these places?
Unfortunately, I had 3 weeks in the US in February of this year.
That sounds horrible.
I only get to go in the cold time. But it's we're looking at it now saying 75% of our revenue will come from outside the UAE within the next 5 years. The market is very difficult. As we say, the owner drivers are killing the market. We remain optimistic that 2020 will come and go, and then the legislation that's already in place will start being implemented a little bit better, and we'll clean up some of these operations.
Well, actually, I think, I don't want to steal his thunder, but I think there's a guy here later on, Jerry Egan from Abu Dhabi Finance, is going to talk about that, and I urge anybody who's in the room now to please stay on for that. It's going to be a cracker, so